Welcome back to Marketers at Work Media. Today, Joe Budden is in the pod discussing the Kendrick verse clips. Specifically, the interview footage where Pusha T and Malice discuss the Def Jam situation, the Drake situation, the album, and what to expect from it. However, let's take a closer look at Joe Budden's feedback.
They took my Clips Kendrick verse away.
Did they? That shit was fire, yo.
Oh, boo. Come on, Freeze. Find it so we can dissect it.
Off a snippet. That's it. I'm gonna play it.
Oh, it was so fire. You heard it, Mark?
Yeah. The internet was. It's funny because I heard it and liked it. Then I saw a lot of people saying this is the worst ever. You know, the Drake side of the equation. A lot of their fans were like, "This was trash. This proves." You know, really? Yeah, which was absurd to me. I think regardless of where you stand on this divided issue, Kendrick was fired.
So it was up and then they took it down?
Yes.
Somebody leaked it. Absolutely.
Oh, somebody leaked it. Okay, got it.
I was surprised it was up as long as it was.
It was up, and now it's not because it shouldn't have been up.
I hate hearing it like this.
I hated that this leaked.
Yeah.
Absolute hate.
At the same time, though, first of all, I do want to shout out the Clips and whoever's running their rollout because they are bodying it to me.
Every aspect.
They just did
merch,
the New York Times podcast
did
with John Monica. I forgot how you say his name. It was great though. It was great. They really get into the verse and the song about how the label has like a lyric auditor there, usually to catch sample clearance things, interpretations. If you use some lyrics from someone else's, they have to clear that. Mm-hmm. But they kind of started overstepping it and taking it into censorship and doing things on behalf of the bigger label. We don't want to have a mess with Drake or whatever it may be. That was a very interesting conversation.
Talk to me about what a lyrics committee does at a major label as far as your understanding and your experience.
Yo,
what is a lyrics committee for our listeners?
Listen, and this is what this is how I understood it initially. The lyrics committee, from what I understand, was supposed to, take your music, make sure there aren't any interpolations,
secret samples.
It's a
copyright check.
Basically, that's what it's supposed to be. Since 2018, it was for me at Def Jam a way to censor my music or a way to make sure I wasn't having any subliminal disses or anything in anything that I did.
Yeah.
That's how it was used.
In your mind, they were being overly sensitive about you rapping about another artist signed to that label. Drake, a huge artist.
Yeah.
Malice especially, because he was talking about how hip-hop is the one place for black people to be most expressive in the world, and now you have this label censoring them. It's a really good conversation. I recommend checking it out.
Yo, y'all knew this. I didn't. It's not my bag, but I really like hearing pushing them talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's certain people that'll lure you in with their conversation. Like, I like hearing Dame. I like hearing 50. I like hearing certain people speak. A lot of rappers is like wet mops.
Yeah.
When they start talking, they'll pull you into the conversation. Like,
I don't understand that term.
No, a lot of people don't interview well.
No, it's true.
That is true. A lot of rappers don't interview well.
I got you.
Yeah, we know. But when certain people start to speak, it's like, oh, and they'll just lure you in. So I really have been enjoying a little run that they on.
Yeah, for sure. And everything about the run that they're on tells me how intentional everything has been. Like, they weren't just in the studio rapping over beats. You know what I mean? Like, it was OD thought out from top to bottom.
And I love to hear black men that
They wasn't just in the studio neither. Like, they was in fucking
France,
Paris.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton
oh, oui.
headquarters.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And when Pharrell introduced, because I watched the whole clip of him introducing the record that Kendrick is on, and it's Pharrell talking. I love watching it because as a rapper, if you got Pharrell to talk, it's like, yeah, nigga, say something. It's like we used to be telling him, nigga, talk for us. And Pharrell says, we made this whole project right downstairs, the Louis headquarters, staring at what is that? Some type of river, staring at
the scene.
Huh?
Scene or same.
Whatever it is, he was saying, staring at this river, and the river is so rich that it just makes. I'm like, yo, this nigga got too much money. He just up there.
I agree with you regarding the Pharrell situation. We haven't heard much from him in the hip-hop context prior to the release of the clips. Pharrell and Drake have some back and forth throughout the entire situation with Pusha T in the first round. Drake said this when he purchased Pharrell's chain and other items at Pharrell's auction.
And the chains that I bought from your boss, give a fuck about all of that heritage shit.
Even now, those lines still make me wince because of all that legacy. Bro? This guy is so out of touch with his culture that he can say things like this in the slave line without even considering it.
No, but this is
the grimiest, grungiest.
And when you
But that's the fly shit. That's the fly shit about this rollout. Even doing the New York Times, even though I'd obviously rather have them come talk to us and tell us these stories, it places it in a different place.
Yes.
This is not just some hip hop shit. Like, no, we're gonna go sit with fucking art critics and we're gonna tell an entire story about this shit.
And when you sit down and hear these two black
it makes
boys,
it not cheap.
Cause did their merch.
Right.
Yeah.
And it ain't just a couple tees.
Right.
No, but
it's art. Hey, their vinyl packaging. Cause did that. Like, it's art.
Nah,
it's art.
They done drop about 4 different capsule collections with.
They killing.
This is different.
And you hear these two black men that sit around and talk about cocaine, sit in front of these white people and articulate and convey their thoughts, and their grammar is on point, and all their diction and all of that shit is on point. That shit is fire. Like, you be proud as fuck listening to them speak.
In one of these interviews, they said they ain't even talking about cocaine. That's how ill they are in this shit.
No, I'm talking about, but that's their...
The crazy shit about the clips, like, I was talking about this with my man who was an MC upstate when I was home last. Like, yeah, it's coke rap, but it's not. Like, they just use that as a vehicle to talk about all the deeper shit that they're talking about in all these raps. And I forgot what the opening song they were saying in this interview is about their parents who both passed, rest in peace. It's called something like Birds Don't Fly or something like that. So it's like, even with that, you're doing a super deep song while playing into something that, this is going to be a song about coke.
Birds.
Exactly.
Birds don't fly sometimes.
Yeah, I forgot what the title. I might be butchering that, but...
You're hinting at internal struggle, but you're not necessarily putting it right out there. And on this album, the new album, right in the first song, you're leading with that. And I wonder if you could talk about the decision behind, I mean, I know you lost both your parents in relatively quick succession a couple years ago. I'm very sorry about that.
Thank you.
Leaning into the choice to not only rap about it, but also lead with it.
Spoke in the interview dealing with talking about their parents. Both of their parents passed, I think recently, and with that, they had a song dedicated to them and kind of working through that process of their death.
Birds on Fire, this one with John Legend.
Yeah, they talk a lot of that fly, and you'll just miss it if all you hear is
the coke raps,
drug talk. Like, same with Sahai.
Yeah.
Like, these are people that they talk fly shit.
Especially like that.
Pen is different.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah. Like, that's just a vehicle for them to tell some real deep shit. Like,
I think the process was unbearably hard.
Yeah.
So much so that, like, we were like, man, this is the hardest record. Like, we got hard records on the album, but no, the mentality of this and just the depth of this and the process of it was so hard that it, like, I knew that this was going to touch people, and I felt like we should get that. We should pull them in with that.
This sounds like a real Def Jam kind of project.
Mm-hmm. They dropped the ball.
Wow, Def Jam.
They dropped the ball.
Old Def Jam. These are the types of albums old Def Jam would have like stood proud and tall behind.
For sure.
Like some real hip hop sounding shit. With the greatest producers, the greatest features. We heard a Kendrick feature, a Nas feature leaked earlier.
We got
he
a whole
went
Louis
crazy.
Vuitton backing. Like,
yeah. And I mean, not to start the rumor mill up again, will it be a whole verse on there?
Now the
concept of Jay-Z getting a verse on the Clips album would be wild, and if that is the case, not saying or confirming it is, but in a hypothetical world, if that was the case, that would be dope. And if he'd take a shot at like a Drake, that'll be wild, because keep in mind, Jay-Z was responsible for Kendrick getting the placement on the Super Bowl, or at least partly helping that process, being the person coordinating the halftime shows for the Super Bowl. And then we also have Pusha T, signed to Roc Nation, Jay's label. So Jay's footprint is in all of the mix on the opposite side of Drake to also add another layer. Let's not forget, Drake posted a picture of Solange in the elevator during that infamous night where they got into a whole dispute, and Solange threw hands on Jay in that elevator. Drake posted a picture of that night. It was never cleared up what that was about, but people only speculated that, hey, it was a shot at Jay. So if Jay Ash actually had a verse and came out of retirement to lay into Drake, that would be really delightful. So what do you guys make about this feedback from Joe Budden and his team about the whole Clips and Kendrick verse and the rest of the project? Put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Marcus at Work Media. Talk to you soon.